This is a brief reflection on the benefits of being average. As I struggle in my journey as an artist and as a human being in general, and really under almost every hat that I wear, I find this pattern continuously, that no matter how hard I try and no matter how much my knees might be bleeding, I mentioned this because this was what I was going through at a time when I was trying to excel in Aikido and martial arts. I can only reach a certain point. I see myself during dance at the bar, for instance, my mind just does not register the bar combinations. It just doesn't happen. And even in terms of art, okay, I might have reached a relatively good state compared especially to a non-artist, but still, even if I try to put myself into a structure that might be conducive to more opportunities, I still notice that I can only reach a certain level. And this is also tied to my previous video in terms of the spiritual journey, that no matter how hard one tries in one's spiritual journey, there's always going to be some kind of limitation. And perhaps this is very individual to every person. It might be in one person's mission and indeed path that they manage to transcend what they need to transcend. But for other people, the limitation might be more real. I really like that analogy of the car driver. We can all learn how to drive a car, at least reasonably, but not everyone is meant to become the next Schumacher. So it could be the same for all the other aspects of life, whether it's the spiritual path, the artistic path, so on and so forth. And that is why in my previous video I said, I concluded with the basic beautiful message that okay, you can't excel, you can't become a superhuman, you can't become a polymath, so what? Isn't it also part and parcel, if not all, of the value of the spiritual path to be kind, to be compassionate, to be peaceful? And I have to add this, which I did not stress upon so much in my previous video, to be also wise. That's why it's such a beautiful image, the one that Buddhists tend to convey about the bird with two wings, the wing of compassion and the wing of wisdom. It's useless trying to be kind-hearted, totally kind-hearted, and then you're not being kind to yourself, so you're not being wise in that respect. And again, back to the idea of being average and the benefit of that. How can we turn it around? So let's use a little bit of Byron Katie's beautiful tools of self-inquiry. Okay, and I also admit here, I feel guilty that I've been so jealous so many times for so many aspects of life that you see me entertain. If it's appearance, for instance, I was so jealous when I was a little girl that those girls who had beautiful brown or blonde hair, they were always given attention, their names were remembered. Mine was almost always forgotten or not remembered or confused. And they were the ones who were given the sweets, they were given the most beautiful toys, they were given the most beautiful books, most interesting books. They were mentioned, they were chosen for plays, for the stage. And no matter how hard I tried to go to the beautician, fix my hair, it just doesn't work. It doesn't have to be the primary school teacher. I could see that even growing older in terms of boyfriends. Why were men always choosing those who were prettier, who were more sensual? And whenever I tried to be that, it was just a farce. I did try for some time to be the heart and soul of the party and be extroverted, but that didn't last very long and did not last very well either. And yeah, there I can bring up so many examples in terms of art, business. It just doesn't happen. So why keep on trying and not enjoy being average? Because being average, after all, has its own benefits. And apart from the standard benefits that one may think of, there are some others which I want to touch upon today, which might not be usually thought of as perks. So again, let's turn it around. Let's use Byron Katie's wonderful tools. Let us say that I was a successful artist, for instance, and I was a successful business person. So in that case, I would be so preoccupied and so consumed and so validated, so content because of that, that I would probably not be sitting down and engaging in reflective moments the same way that I'm doing now. Frankly, it's those times when you are going through hardship that you sit down and reflect. At least that's what I do. No place for sulking for me. I meditate, I reflect. And I don't see myself doing that if I was very successful in one particular area of my life. The same thing goes for a romantic relationship, for instance. If I was so successful, contrary to what reality is in terms of a romantic relationship, then all those elements that are involved in a serious romantic relationship would take me away from engaging in moments like these. For sure, there would be moments when you are with someone, with any kind of relationship, where it's going to be difficult. And that also is usually a time when a person turns inward and starts questioning. But the amount of attachment and bondage that is required in such instances, whether it's a romantic relationship, a very successful business, it is not easy. It just occupies most of your being, not just your mind. So this is an opportunity for me, by being average, by not excelling in something in particular, to be free from those additional attachments and be free from whatever might take me away from self-inquiry and from reflecting on human existence and on my real purpose. Perhaps that is my real purpose, of not excelling in something. And let's be frank, it's not for everyone, and it's actually a very small percentage of the population that is very, 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 very good in something. How do I feel about that? About not excelling in something? Do I feel okay with being average? And does it change anything if I'm not okay? Does it suddenly make me become a master in what I'm not excelling in if I'm not okay with that? Very unlikely. Because indeed there is such a thing as context, one's innate characteristics that would be conducive to one becoming a master. And yeah, it's not for everyone to become a master in something. This brings about the idea of why do we scorn at being average? It's the middle way, being average, right? So isn't that nice? That there's no extreme, that being average is actually encouraging more of feeling okay in the gray zone, of not going to extremes, and of being more or less equanimous. Isn't that nice? I'm concluding this video, I have to admit, on a more positive note on why I'm not exceptionally beautiful, why I'm not and will not be, have not been in a fixed romantic relationship, why I don't excel, particularly in art, why I don't excel in business. But haven't I gained anyway if I'm average? Because by being average in so many things means that I have gained my footing in them. And there is no significant imbalance that is creating stress. And that's another thing. When we reach excellence, when we receive an award, although we usually don't look at it as a stressful situation, but when you think about it, it is. Because if I receive awards all the time, or most of the time, the stress that would induce for me to keep that high level would be so great. And then those few moments when I wouldn't get an award, I would feel not happy. And I conclude with a small recent example. So I'm currently studying for a master's degree, and because it's about a subject that is so close to my heart, it's about spirituality, perhaps that, and also the type of the subject, and I am enjoying every moment of it, and I was giving my heart and soul, literally my spirit, into every assignment, and I got relatively good grades. There was a time when I was getting a lucky streak of A grades, and then the moment that I got some B grades, can you believe it, that I took on a bit of a gloomy mood because I got B's. And that was something very useful to reflect upon. Someone who has received C's and D's would do anything to get a B. And here I was, sulking because I got B grades, because I was so used to getting A grades. I think this very well illustrates the significance and perhaps the undervalue of being average, of the middle way. And think about your own situation. How do you feel about what we consider average? If you do excel in something, good for you. If you do excel in something, how does it feel? perhaps you feel okay with trying to keep the level high, or you maybe don't think about it at all. Perhaps there's another way of being equanimous while at the same time still navigating a life of being a master. I'm sure that there are various colors and overtones to this. Thanks for listening, and just think about what it means for you to be average and how or not it affects your life.